from La Jolla, California, weighing in at 175 pounds, Rios de la Sangre.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are looking live at the Norfolk Masonic Temple. It is time for the biggest event on the calendar each and every year. It is the VCW Liberty Lottery. I am Blake Chadwick calling all of the action. We're kicking things off with the pressure luck match. Rios de la Sangre, one-on-one with Brian Pillman Jr. The winner of this match becomes the number 20 entrant in the Liberty Lottery later on tonight, where the loser has tough luck and will be number 1. Of course, that's a 20-man delayed entry over the top rope battle royal where the winner gets a title shot at any championship of their choosing in the next calendar year. The premier match on the VCW calendar, the 15th annual event, and it's kicking off in style tonight with the international star Rios de la Sangre back in the saddle once again. His third appearance here in Virginia Championship Wrestling. He's had a mixed bag of success thus far, picking up a win over 10 straight in his debut, then lost to Joe Keys, and Gino Medina also involved in that triple threat bout to determine the number 1 contender for the Virginia Heavyweight Championship. That's how Joe Keys earned his opportunity here tonight. But Rios de la Sangre, he came to VCW for one reason, and that's not just to make a statement, but to win championship gold. And he can start his path just right here tonight with a win in this bout, and then of course, securing the Liberty Lottery later on this evening.
Introducing his opponent, he hails from Cincinnati, Ohio, and weighing in at 230 pounds, the varsity blonde, Brian Pillman Jr.
Making his return to Virginia Championship Wrestling, Brian Pillman Jr., the varsity blonde straight out of All Elite Wrestling. No Griff Garrison with them tonight, but Brian Pillman Jr., who has been in VCW in the past, he has had success, has been in the Liberty Lottery in the past. Let's see if he can build on that experience here tonight, as Pillman will take on the world traveler Rios de la Sangre, and it looks like de la Sangre might have something to say here, as this crowd white hot, packed to the rafters here in Norfolk. And listen to this crowd. They're chanting for Brian Pillman. Very glad to see him back inside a VCW ring. The way Rios de la Sangre was standing on that top rope, it looked like he was going to start speaking to the crowd, but now he's going out to our broadcast table here. He's going to grab the mic, and it looks like he indeed has something to say.
You guys can yell at me later, but this needs to be said. You all showed up here to see Brian Pillman Jr. But what beats the hell out of me is that you guys came to see and paid your hard-earned dollars on a nostalgia act.
I don't know about all that.
Let's be real. Let's call a spade, all right? You may be built like $1 million superstar, but let's be real, homeboy. You ain't no loose cannon. You ain't your daddy.
I don't believe he ever claimed he was.
And more importantly, Norfolk is gonna see who the real loose cannon is tonight, and who's nothing more than a little puta.
So Rios de la Sangre, in a bout that was essentially just to determine the number 1 and number 20 participant in the Liberty Lottery later on tonight, has made this personal before the bell even sounds. De la Sangre has been known to play mind games with his opponents, and the veteran Looking to get inside the brain of Brian Pillman Jr. here. Bell sounds, we're underway. Pressure luck match. Number 20 versus number 1 spot at stake. Rios de la Sangre, Brian Pillman Jr. One-on-one, referee Ross Hall assigned to this contest. As this is Pillman's first bout in VCW in about 4 years. And once again, we talked about the mind games of De La Sangre. On full display right here. Gets under the skin of Pillman Jr., the bell rings, and then he immediately takes a breather to the outside. And it looks like De La Sangre has formed his own section of fans in the front row, and he certainly have to respect what he brings to the table inside the squared circle. We saw that against Tim Spriggs, and of course that triple threat bout back in April as well. As you have to imagine, both competitors here want to get in and out of this bout as quickly as possible, knowing that they both are pulling double duty tonight. And what is going to be one of the most stacked Liberty Lottery cards of all time. Talked about Ken Dixon and Joe Keys for the VCW Virginia Heavyweight Championship. The Golden Piggy Society will defend the tag team titles for the very first time. Ever since securing those championships, one of the most emotional moments that we have seen in VCW in this company's history back in April. Brandon Scott, Alex Devine, one-on-one. As right now, Brian Pillman Jr. trying to show off that amateur background. So Rios de la Sangre does have a BJJ background, as we saw him and Tim Spriggs roll around a bit. As De La Sangre trying to control the pace, slow things down a bit right now against Brian Pillman Jr. But also tonight, for the first time in over 3 years, the return of the women to VCW, Savannah Evans and Erica Lee one-on-one. As De La Sangre trying to use his quickness here to reverse course against Brian Pillman Jr. And De La Sangre, who's been plying his trade essentially over the last several years, primarily down in Mexico with the Crash promotion. And Pillman, he may not be his father, but he certainly knows what he's doing inside that ring, trained by Lance Storm. As Pillman now trying to stay a step ahead of De La Sangre. Off the ropes goes De La Sangre. Pillman tries to follow him in here. The pace starting to pick up a bit. And Brian Pillman Jr. certainly has matured a bit since we've last seen him, staying a step ahead of De La Sangre here in this opener. As you can hear the crowd in Norfolk. About 10 minutes from downtown. Capacity crowd on hand, all of the 7 cities and more represented in the Hampton Roads area. But De La Sangre, who is making this one personal at the beginning of the bout, now throwing some stiff shots right to the midsection of Brian Pillman Jr. As Pillman continues to try to stay a step ahead, catches him right in the jaw. And De La Sangre rolls to the outside, and the Varsity Blonde is in control here. And Pillman trying to pick up the pace a bit. De La Sangre follows him back in, sidesteps him, and De La Sangre trying to pick up the pace. Rios de La Sangre, rotating plunge into the outside. He takes out Pillman Jr. as the number 20 and number 1 spots are on the line here in this opening bout at the 15th Annual Liberty Lottery. And Rios, who is looking for a career night here this late July evening in Norfolk. As referee Ross Hall trying to get them both back inside the ring. Countouts and disqualifications do apply. The last thing either man would want to do is lose that number 20 opportunity and it coming via disqualification or countout. Pillman trying to swing the tide back his direction now. As both of these men in a dangerous position on the floor. as Pillman props up De La Sangre against the ring post, and Pillman Jr. smacks that steel. No padding or protection, and De La Sangre adds insult to injury, launching Pillman's entire body as he connects with the post. And right now, the La Jolla, California native in full control of this opening contest. Referee Ross Hall beginning to count, and De La Sangre will follow Pillman Jr. right back to the outside. De La Sangre appears to be looking for blood here. As Pillman, that muscle memory brings him right back inside the ring, but right into a pinning position. And De La Sangre only gets a near fall. And Rios trying to keep Pillman grounded yet again. Pillman more of the power wrestler. De La Sangre more of the high tempo and speed. And that aerial ability. But Pillman looking to feed off of this crowd in Norfolk. His family has a long, long history in this city. As De La Sangre takes down Pillman Jr., tries another cover. And the Varsity Blonde holds on yet again, but how many more times is he going to be able to kick out of this offensive attack by Rios De La Sangre? And of course, folks, coming up later on, we of course know about the 20-man delayed entry Liberty Lottery Battle Royal. The winner getting a title shot at any championship of his choosing. Some heavy hitters in that bout. The Greek God Papadon, Dirty Money, Logan Easton LaRoe, Brandon Scott, amongst many more. One of the most stacked Liberty Lotteries of all time. And speaking of stacked, what about our Hoss Fight Tag Team bout coming up a little bit later on? Phil Brown teaming with Boar, taking on the Sharky Tank. As right now, De La Sangre wearing down Pillman Jr. As Pillman looking like a hoss in there against De La Sangre. Just launches him right off of his back. Pillman trying to utilize that size advantage here. And he plants De La Sangre right on the back of his neck, and that might be the opening that the Varsity Blonde was looking for here. As this number 20 opportunity hanging right in the balance. We have seen the number 1 position win the Liberty Lottery in the past, but the odds gravely against you. And you can listen to those strikes reverberate all throughout the Norfolk Masonic Temple. Over 500 strong in the house tonight. De La Sangre trying to take over, but Pillman Jr. picking up the momentum here. And Brian Pillman Jr. with that strike to the back of the neck. De La Sangre tries a counterattack. Pillman looks to dump him. The momentum takes De La Sangre up and over. The Irish up here to the near side. And De La Sangre face first into that top turnbuckle. May have suffered some serious whiplash as Brian Pillman Jr. might be turning the corner here and looking to close the door on this opening bout. As Pillman, in that three-point stance, charges in the corner here. A series of offensive strikes to Rios De La Sangre. Dumps him inside out with that Fisherman's Buster. 2, 2.5. Referee Ross Hall's hand was coming down for a third time, but Brian Pillman Jr. unable to get the Duke, but turns him right around into a half crab here. Sitting right on the small of the back, that lower lumbar region. A lot of torque on the knee of De La Sangre. Pillman trying to stay in position. He has him in the center of the ring. De La Sangre trying to fight and shift his weight here. Over 10 minutes in, as a lot of gas has been expended by both men here, as De La Sangre finds his way to the ropes, and you can see the frustration out of the Varsity Blonde, unable to get the victory. And Pillman might have been caught napping there, as De La Sangre might have just found the opening he was looking for. And the double knees right to the back of Pillman Jr., who's laid out on the outside. And this now allows Rios de la Sangre some very precious moments to recover. Ross Hall administering that count. Brian Pillman Jr. needs to get back inside the ring as quickly as possible here. There's no way neither man will be at 100% come the Liberty Lottery later on this evening. But one of them will still have some great odds, while the other will be fighting from underneath from the opening bell. Pillman from the outside in, sunset flip. He stacks them up, 1, 2. Rios flipped them inside out. There's another pinning combination. And they trade pinfall attempts here. De La Sangre, springboard cutter. He drops Pillman right in the center of the ring. 1, 2, and 2.5. De La Sangre right on the cusp of victory. He's knocking on the door, but there's no quit in the Varsity Blonde. De La Sangre, he's going all the way upstairs here. And Rios looking to connect on the 450. And Pillman able to move out of the way and now places De La Sangre in a very precarious position here. He's tied up. And Pillman drives the feet right into the sternum. And De La Sangre smartly rolling to the outside as you see Pillman gaining a second win now. As Pillman, he's had about enough of Rios de la Sangre, as he's going to look to close him out here. Pillman trying to bring De La Sangre from the outside in. De La Sangre and Pillman in a struggle. Pillman has the strength advantage. De La Sangre slips back behind him. Standing switch. De La Sangre runs him into the ropes here. Okada roll. He's got him. 1, 2. He's got the tights. 3. And De La Sangre steals the number 20 spot.
The winner of the match and number 20 entered in the Liberty Lottery, Rios de la Sangre.
Rios de la Sangre will move to 2-1 in his VCW career. What a huge win for Rios de la Sangre. He gets by Brian Pillman Jr. Now he has the opportunity to recover for a bit, get some fluids in him, recharge, and will come out with the best odds out of all 20 participants in tonight's Liberty Lottery bout. And he came to VCW looking for that Virginia Heavyweight Championship. And now he's in pole position, coming up a little bit later on to win the Battle Royal and receive a shot sometime in the next 365 days. And you see the Varsity Blonde certainly not too pleased. He will come out number 1. It's going to be a long road ahead for Brian Pillman Jr. if he wants to win that Liberty Lottery. But folks, we're just getting started. Don't you go anywhere. The 15th annual Liberty Lottery continues coming up next.